Redefine line. Review of the Bustin Yoface. Now, you've had this board for how long?
A month.
This isn't your first board. You've had a electric skateboard for quite some time.
Carbon Evolve GT for almost 2 years.
And you switched to this because, what did you hope to get out of it?
Back to my roots. I want to ride skateboards again. Never rode longboards. This just feels more natural.
After 1 month, are you happy with the decision?
Yes. It's not like I got rid of the other one. Like we were saying, we have long range boards and short range boards. And this is great for going around the beach. It is not a high speed, go fast, long distance board like the Evolve. I've had no problem going 10 miles on it, going over that bridge over there and out to the beach and riding around. But I'm not doing 25 miles an hour when I'm doing it. I'm doing 13, 16.
Which is comfortable.
It's comfortable, but if you gotta get somewhere fast.
Yeah, but if you gotta get somewhere fast, you're not really taking a skateboard is for fun. I would not choose that as my mode of transportation if I'm in a hurry anyway.
The Evolve is transportation. This is fun. The Evolve is like strapping onto a Tesla and driving through traffic. This, not so much traffic. Not so much doing 25 down the street on this board. It can do it.
Short wheelbase.
Yes.
The Evolve is a drop deck or no?
Slightly.
You do have a functional nose and tail.
Yes, and that is the whole thing.
How often does that come in handy?
All day, every day. Going over cracks, avoiding things. You can ride off a curb. Can't do that with Evolve without bashing your motors.
How many times have you ridden the Evolve since you've got this board?
To run a fast errand that was 20 miles long. That this board, if I gotta run out of the beach and pick something up real quick, take the Evolve, 25 minutes to the beach and back to land. This probably take me 20 minutes to go each way and then charge for about an hour. But at the same time, you can push it.
First hub motors?
Yes,
Hubs
I've never rode hub
belts.
motors.
What do you think?
It's totally different things. They're different creatures entirely.
If you could have both boards with hubs or both boards with belts, because I've had a short board. I had that Bustin Mini or Mini X, whatever the hell they call it.
And they had the motors in the front
belts,
though.
But it was belts. But I've also ridden longboards belts and longboards hub, and I would take hubs all day.
I think overall, yes. I like hubs for the simplicity, and you're not gears and belts and pieces of debris getting caught in the belt and then chewing up a gear.
Noise.
It's noise.
Resistance. Being able to push.
It took me a minute to get used to it again after the Evolve.
Because you rode the Evolve for so long.
Yeah. Because that was just, you give it a shove, but it's not like you pushed off to accelerate.
Yeah.
You gave it a shove just to get it moving so it wasn't completely stopped. This, you get the push and you're like, oh yeah, I got a button.
That's my favorite thing about a hub motor is when you let off the trigger, you're skateboarding.
On other boards where you have to turn them on and wait for them to pair and everything is that you just, when guys take off, you jump on your board and go, you can push along, turn on the remote while you're riding. Once you're rolling, the board automatically turns on. You don't have to push, you don't have to press a button, you can just ride this thing. And it's not light, it's 14 pounds, it's carryable, it's movable.
Well, reverse kingpin trucks on a traditional skateboard deck. That's interesting.
It turns great though.
Very big wheel wells.
Yeah, and
how do you feel about not so much on the bottom, but standing on them on the top?
I thought this was gonna be weird on my feet.
Yeah.
So I got bigger feet.
Yeah.
It actually is nice because like one of the things I liked on the Evolve is a little kick up right by the trucks.
You know where your feet are.
You know where your feet are, and that's the thing I miss about skateboards and concave and everything is you know where your feet are. Well, if you put your feet right in here, they actually
feel
sit
locked in
perfectly between these hub wells. And then mind you, if you romp it too fast, you're going to do a manual. If you hit the brake too fast, you're going to. But they do lock in good there. It's just getting used to it with the Evolve. You can gun it and do 0 to 30 in, what, 3 seconds
because
or something.
your weight's totally in between
There's
the
no
trucks.
tail.
It's not over top of the trucks.
If you romp this thing, and your foot's too far in the tail.
Yeah, I really like that. I had that loaded motherboard, and it has the biggest wheel wells you've ever seen.
But it looks like
but
you
it's
wouldn't like
comfortable because you know exactly where your feet are all the time.
Well, I saw you when you rode it.
Yeah.
When we just made that pass, you were moving your foot around up here, whether
Getting
you liked
used
it
to
before
where it's at.
or there.
Yep.
But it's very comfortable to ride.
It gives you feedback without looking down.
Yeah. We can review a bunch of different boards that we ride on or ride with all the time, but Dave's deck, it's flat, grip tape just in the middle,
I don't like
kind of like
that.
the Evolve. But the Evolve had a bit of a concave, but it's flat, and it's almost, when it's flat, it feels like it's convex, like it's not hugging you.
Nothing's
you're
coming up to
balancing.
meet your toe and heel. You don't have as much leverage on a flat deck.
And so this is much closer to home for me.
That was my problem when I had that riptide and I switched decks almost immediately. It's because it's a very flat deck, and I felt like you don't have that extra leverage.
While I haven't done a lot of tricks or riding with it, weather hasn't been all that bad here, but not all that good.
Yeah, the one time we went to the skate park, it started to rain 4 minutes after we got there.
4 minutes after we got there. So I haven't had a lot of opportunities to get stupid on this, but it can handle it. I mean, I say, like, watch the Braille video where they beat it to hell.
And Bustin makes a solid deck.
Right, and that's, I heard about Bustin from you.
Yeah.
I had never,
I have a number of Bustin boards.
And I got that one from you, which is a Yoface.
Yeah.
And I love the shape of it. Loved how it rode, and just thought this was the perfect mix. Key point being, I got about almost $4,000 into my Evolve. This was $550.
Yeah. That's a big jump. Remote. Good, bad, positive, negative.
Not comparing it to other remotes or other boards, but I will say another remote I have doesn't last half the length of the board's range.
Mm-hmm.
This I haven't charged. I've plugged it in, but I've never seen the battery level go down at all. I have no complaints with the remote.
And you don't have any buttons anywhere. You've only got your thumb wheel.
Well, and
I like that. I like that a lot. I
get
hate
the
that. I hate when they
wheel
put that stupid
front?
darn trigger you have to hold in.
the one problem I had with this going from the Evolve is that the thumb is the brake. And so you push the brake. The first couple times I rode this, when I went to stop, I hauled out. I hit the brake, or I thought I was hitting the brake, like the Evolve button, and I just... It just a matter of getting used to. But at the same time, when people rode boosted boards and stuff and then try to Evolve, they hate that brake because it's so different.
It's what you're used to.
And
if you use a remote for 2 miles, that's your remote.
Yeah, like after about a week, I didn't make that mistake again, and it was there enough that I knew not to. It's not as punchy as a belt board. So if you do start to tap it, it doesn't just take off out from under you and you do a backflip. At the same time, the brakes aren't what I'm used to on the belt drive either. We go down this bridge up here all the time, and with the Evolve, the drag of the belt and everything slow you down enough, and you don't need to get on the brake a lot, or the wind. This, when you get on the brake, you're gonna go for a while when you're going down a hill. It's not gonna stop you complete stop.
Because it doesn't have all the added resistance of the belts.
Yeah, and it's
on top of it.
There's 4 modes going and 4 modes braking.
What do you leave it in what do you leave it in most often?
I leave it on brake 4.
And what speed?
If I'm just tooting around, mode 2, top range 13. But it's also getting a bit of exercise. I'm pushing, I'm riding, I'm not just pushing a button and going, I'm getting a little physical and stuff. Which is hard for me to get exercise with my gimpiness. So
I don't even think I know how to change the modes on any of my boards. I think as soon as I've got it, I figured out how to put it into fastest and never touched it again.
Now see, I always adjust the modes because Florida, come on, we're mostly flat here. When you get into a bridge, you want the oomph, but you want to save the battery. Like once you get used to this board, you can equally push it, put in a lower mode to give you a little bit, or in a faster mode to ride it fast. But I'll say save the fast stuff for when you need it.
Cops disagree with you. Going from a 30-mile range board to this, which you've gotten, what, 10 miles out of so far?
10 is what I've done. I've tried testing it, going, hauling butt. We haven't done real range test.
Do you miss the ranginess?
On that one ride. That one, Safety Harbor ride last week. I missed it because it was a lot of big hills. We're with the guys that we normally ride longer ranges with. I brought this board. I was pushing a lot, and I was behind.
Damn. That's a weird ride. No, we don't do many hills like that.
Yeah. But out here on the beach, and that's the thing, it's 3 miles over the bridge to the beach. The whole beach, Clearwater Beach, is 3 miles long. Like, what range do you need? I originally bought the Evolve to go back and forth to the VA hospital, which is 13 miles away from me.
Yeah.
And I can do that. And that's
round
the
trip
Evolve thing, but I can do that round trip.
On one battery?
On one battery on the Evolve. I can't make it one way on this.
Oh, so that's a thing.
Yeah. If you're going somewhere to ride it, this is the board.
Yes.
If you're trying to get somewhere, like a vehicle, no. But if you want to go out and have fun and ride.
That's a big difference when I went from my long range board to a light, short, fun board.
Yeah.
I used my long range board as a 30-mile board as a way to get places to do activities.
Yeah.
Mostly photography. When I switched to a short, fun board, I didn't even take pictures a day or two with it because it was so fun to ride. Like, instead of photography being the activity that I used the electric skateboard to get to, and just riding around on the skateboard was the activity. Right. It was a totally different thing.
And I leave my camera at home a lot. Like, on the Evolve, I'll carry my camera with me all the time. But if I'm just coming out here at night, I don't even bring cameras out for sunset on this.
It's been a few months.
On the Evolve, it's almost like a filming platform.
Yeah. It's been a few months since I've had a shorter range, light, fun board.
Yeah. And it's nice. And it's nice that you're not dragging this long 4-foot thing behind you or trying to carry this 20-something pound thing under your arm.
Yeah.
It's a skateboard. It looks like a skateboard. So
it pushes like a skateboard. Little tall, but pretty close.
Yeah. I would tell you, based on this alone, if I was to buy another longboard,
you'd buy the Bustin version?
I'd buy the Bustin version, and I would buy. I mean, it depends. If you just like a longboard better than a skateboard, stick with a small one. It's airplane safe. You can travel with it. It's not as heavy. If you want the range of like an Evolve or something, then get the other one, and it's under $1,000. It's less than half the price of the Evolve. Less maintenance.
Or what does a boosted board go for now? 16, 17?
16, 17, yeah. This board goes as far as a boosted for 1/3 of the price.
I never had the Stealth or any of the longboards. I had the Mini X, and I didn't like it.
But hey, if you want us to have somebody we know rides a boosted tell you about it, then we'll grab it. So for any board you like, or every board you don't like, there's somebody who loves it for certain reasons. We got guys that ride. There's not too many of us that ride the same board. At one time there'll be 2 guys on this or 2 guys on that, but it's not like we all ride anywhere near the same.
No, I can't even think of any doubles. A couple of guys, one wheels are the only people who ride the same thing as other people.
Yeah, and then even when Rob and I had the Evolve, he had his Evolve still. He rode ATs all the time on a bamboo board, and I rode 107s on the carbon fiber. So there's a lot of comparison to do. But this, honestly, I'd buy it again all day long. I'm excited about it. That's what I mean. I think if you are like us, older skateboarders, you got half a knee, this feels like home.
You know how this works. This is something you've done all your life, and it's just added that the funnest thing in the world is going down a big hill on a skateboard. This is that, but you don't need to hill anymore. You can get going nice and fast, and if you let that off that trigger, you're riding a skateboard
Right.
wherever you want.
Perfect point.
Yeah.
This coast built drive stone.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you go low ways, but cruising, maneuverability. You can go off curbs. If you try and go off curb with a certain belt drive motors, and even their street version decks, the motors are sitting back here in the truck, and you go off a curb, you smash your motors.
For certain use cases, this is a good skateboard. There are more positives than flaws at this point after having it for 1 month.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. And I haven't rode it as much as I would have liked to.
Because it's winter time.
Yeah, it's winter
We're
time.
in Florida, but it's still winter time.
Recording with the 3, you'll see all the boats and stuff there.
Yeah, look at that guy. There's nobody on there.
You just can't.
It's because it's winter.
But anyway, short range, heck yeah, maneuverability, get around. Christmas on the beach was crazy. The guys on the longboards couldn't maneuver through people. It's kind of like that one parade thing we did in St.
Oh,
Pete.
yeah.
I couldn't maneuver around. People on regular boards could. If you're not a skater, if you like skateboarding and you want electric, but you don't want to have a longboard or something as some big heavy carry thing you can never bring with you, you can't fly with it, you can't travel with it.
Can you take that on a plane?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It's airplane safe.
I
Still
hate
check with your
airplanes.
airlines.
Airplanes make me grumpy, but
So if you want us to make another video like this, let us know. If you have questions, please help us. And ask us your damn questions. I'm going off the questions that people have been asking.
actually he had to cut down from 95 minutes of footage.
And you can see the sun on us, and you know it's only been like...
Is it recording? All right, Captain Sundial over here.
Captain Sundial. That was a mic that I probably should have